Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto. So let's just dive in, and let's start off with this tweet here from Anderson over on Twitter. We do see times of crisis exposes the fragility of the banking system and correspondent banking. Nothing changes when the times are good. Now he's quoting this IMF article. I have it open over here. The lack of trust between advanced economy banks in crisis times is similar to problems faced by lower income economy banks all of the time. This lack of trust manifests as higher fees and charges for CBR services, higher foreign exchange spreads, and potentially even the cutoff of services altogether. These symptoms reflect many frictions, including the following. And we do see a lot of this being mentioned down here. You guys are more than welcome to read all of this, but basically it is talking about high impacts on the banking scene, as well as AML, CFT regulations, stuff like that. It's just the cost of compliance and stuff like that associated with all of this. But ultimately, what I do want to address with this is the fact that, yes, we are starting to see the entire economy weaken. We are starting to see the banking scene crumble. Although, it's only a few banks so far, I want you guys to understand that these things usually start small. Then they trickle to become much, much larger, and it spreads very fast. We've seen this in the past, and I've always been saying on this channel, history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. And I did mention as well on Twitter that we are seeing a big shift. I said, I want you all to realize that we are witnessing a shift happening in the financial system, power shifting, reserve currency being questioned, which we've been addressing for a while around the BRICS nations, banks beginning to crumble, crypto now being targeted. Do you ask why? And again, when we look at crypto being targeted, it's been targeted for a while from regulators and from government officials. But now, today, more than ever, we are seeing crypto becoming a focus point, and it definitely is in the crosshairs almost continuously now. And you really do have to ask yourself why, right? And I said they want to release CBDCs. This will ignite the rise of the new system. CBDCs always get the free pass by the bankers while they blatantly attack crypto. It's all about control and keeping the central banks at the top of the food chain. I said we see regulators in the US targeting staking as a service. Why? Oh, yeah, that's because the national average APY for savings accounts is 0.33%, not even half a percent. Take this into consideration with the average common APY for DeFi being 5 to 15%. Do you see the problem? Crypto and the world of DeFi eats away the dominance banks hold over the retail sector. Why would I hold my money in a savings account or even a CD where it gets eaten alive by inflation? This is why banks can't compete with this industry. Instead, they call upon regulators to target/attack this nascent industry. They want strict regulations to give more power to the banks/Wall Street suits. Focus on the much bigger picture and ask yourself the right questions. And yeah, when you take a step back and you look at what's been happening with crypto and specifically regulations, things like that, like it's all about allowing the banks to continue to thrive. Listen, I want you guys to understand that crypto, the use cases, everything around crypto, it is far better than anything you are going to find in the traditional world. It's the truth, right? I've walked into banks, I've seen their APY on savings accounts, I've seen their APYs on CDs. On CDs, it's not that bad. I think it's like 6% maybe. The last time that I checked, it was like around like 5 to 6%. But these are completely different than what we do see typically offered within the space. For example, I can go over to Coinbase right now and throw my USDC into Coinbase and earn 5% plus. Am I going to? Absolutely not. I'm not going to lock my crypto up on an exchange. But I could do that, right? On Ledger, for an example, cold storage, there is staking opportunities where you could earn on cold storage, where it's a lot more secure. That's a big game changer, right? In my opinion, we do see DeFi and crypto being targeted quite a bit, and we do see CBDCs being the pushed narrative. Oh, CBDCs are good for your safety, for your privacy, for this, for that. Digital IDs are going to streamline every single process. Everything's going to be a lot more efficient. You need CBDCs. CBDCs are necessary. This is a problem, right? The CBDC push. A lot of people think that CBDCs are going to be beneficial for us. They think that they're going to be great, and that conspiracy theories are piling up around CBDCs in terms of control, that it's all fake. They're not going to control us. They're not going to control what we could buy and spend our money on. But the digital euro already talked about putting a control on how much you could spend per month, what you could buy, and things like that. This is a major currency. So, in my opinion, if the digital euro has things like this and restrictions like this, why wouldn't the US dollar CBDC have the same exact narrative put on it, right? So, in my opinion, I don't think that's conspiracy theories, right? And we do see over here from the Vigilant Fox. The White House appears to be inducing runs on regional banks to make way for a CBDC. We know we're about to see bank consolidation, big banks eating little banks, and that means less competition. More consolidation means more government control. So, what are they going to do with that control? Well, all things being equal, if people don't start making a lot of noise and exerting an awful lot of pressure, it'll mean digital currencies. And yeah, I mean, listen, these central banks want these digital currencies. It's just another thing that they can control and that they can play with. That's as simple as it is. Um, and we are starting to see the big banks starting to run to rescue or trying to run to the rescue at least. But now the Fed. We do see here the Fed starts printing to save banks. Hyperinflation destroys the US dollar. All debt gets worthless. We get a fresh start with the CBDC. People lose trust in the CBDC. And last but not least, like Bitcoin becomes a global currency. Like, let's be real, that's not going to happen. But 1 through 5, I do agree with here because, we're starting to see this happening. In fact, if we go and look at the Fed, they recently posted this back in May of 2022. There's also a new report in November of 2022 where they talk a little bit about this as well. But they talk about the US dollar in the age of digital transformation. They talk about the digital dollar becoming a thing. They also talk about the current state of domestic payment system in terms of, digital payment methods and things like that. Ultimately speaking, they always bring up the risk associated with cryptocurrencies. They also bring up the risk associated with even a CBDC here. The thing is, though, is that they are going to continue to target crypto in a bad way. That way, the general public, because again, this market is still very early on, there's not a ton of individuals in this market, and I mean like 20+%. They're going to continue to spiral crypto in a way that, hey, you know, you should avoid crypto. It's a scam. It's this, it's that. That's why we need CBDCs if we want a digital form of currency. So they're going to continue to push the idea around CBDCs and how great they are. Then they're going to usher them in. And then guess what? They're going to screw every retail individual. And we even see that narrative being pushed here. Like, while a CBDC could provide a safe digital payment option for households and businesses as the payment systems continue to evolve and may result in faster payment options between countries, there may also be downsides. And again, they do mention a few of the downsides, but ultimately speaking, they do provide us with an insight on how great a CBDC world could possibly be. Now, again, going back to the banks, I do think that this is just the beginning. I think that the banking system is starting to crumble. A lot of people think that, oh, well, it's just a couple banks so far. Um, it's some of the largest banks. And you got to question the domino effects from these banks collapsing. On Monday, we seen a ton of these regional banks in terms of stock prices drop, 20+%, 40+%, 60+%. That's a big deal. Okay? These are not exchanges. These are not meme coins. These are banks. Banks that people put trust behind to have savings accounts that are well over probably the $250,000 FDIC limit. It's a problem. Now, again, all of this ties back to my initial point. They're causing chaos within the financial system. They want to collapse it. A lot of people are sitting back and saying, "What the hell are they doing?" Because most of the, policy around the finances just doesn't make sense. We have inflation, yet here we are sending money overseas. Also, we're trying to bail out banks now. Like, there's not enough money here. There really isn't a lot of financial opportunity in order for us to be printing more money while inflation is It's out of control, to be honest with you guys. Um, so this could only lead to one thing: hyperinflation. And after that, we question, okay, well, what comes next? Is it a debt wipeout and we usher in this new system? Most likely. And again, I say that, this system is already starting to spread. It's starting to leak into our current system. And we do see here the CBDC is already a global system. It's already in effect, and the Chinese use this system. It's a way to control whether or not you can spend the money you earn. Here's an example: you're at the gas station and your card is declined, but not because you don't have money. Listen closely to this video, real quick.
And the central bank digital currency is already a global system. So it's already in effect, so to speak. The Chinese use it. They use this, their yuan system. But this is a way to control whether or not you can spend the money that you actually earn. So, and I'll just give a basic example of how far this could go. So you could go down to the gas station to fill up your car a second time in a month, and you put your card into the gas pump there, and the gas pump comes back and says denied. And the reason it's denied is not because you don't have money in the bank. It's because this environmentalist crowd, this Nazi commune social whatever, this
And I do agree with this post down here as well. Like, while a CBDC would not offer any unique benefits to Americans, it could spell doom for what little financial privacy protections remain. And again, like, it is taking away our privacy. It's taking away our control over our currencies. I mean, like, listen, you can go to the bank right now and withdraw your money. You might not be able to withdraw more than X amount of dollars because, again, I even say, like, banks are not our friend. They usually don't have the money to back your money, so it takes them a couple days to actually get the funds together. Like, they never hold that amount of money on their physical location. So it's crazy to me that banks are set up like that because, again, like, it means that when you go to a bank in person, a physical bank, and you are asking for X amount of money, that is your money. They literally need to take a couple days to give you your money. That's insane to me. But also, I find it funny that the traditional system players and the elites that continue to push big banks, they constantly tell us, hey, crypto is bad because exchanges are utilizing customer funds. The banks do the same exact thing. They leverage our funds. They utilize our funds to earn more money, give us a small kickback at 0.33%, while they earn a lot more money utilizing our money as a toll. Now, also, I do want to address a little bit more about CBDCs. So, first off, Central Bank Digital Currency Tracker. This is from AtlanticCouncil.org. You guys are more than welcome to go over to their website, but we do see what exactly is the CBDC. They do mention the CBDC here, but here are the key findings, and a lot of this has been updated already. So we do see 114 countries representing over 95% of the global GDP are exploring a CBDC. In May of 2020, only 35 countries were considering a CBDC. So we have started to see a lot more adoption and push towards CBDC. A new high of 60 countries are in an advanced phase of exploration, development, pilot, or launch. 11 countries have fully launched digital currency already. Financial sanctions on Russia have led countries to consider payment systems that avoid the dollar, which, again, I've said that the sanctions are like the sanctions did not benefit the US dollar at all. In fact, it actually benefited Russia. Russia has been prospering in terms of their monetary system. And we do see in 2023, over 20 countries will take significant steps towards piloting a CBDC. And we also do see a lot of them here. For an example, Australia, Thailand, Brazil, India, South Korea, and Russia. A lot of them are BRICS. The ECB is also likely to start a pilot next year. As of December 2022, all G7 economies have now moved into the development stage of a CBDC. 18 of the G20 countries are now in the advanced stage of CBDC development. So, again, we are starting to see very, very large moves being taken to push for a CBDC. And again, all of this will be skewed to, say, hey, it's for your benefit. It's for your benefit. You need to, we need these. And even over here from McKinsey, right? if we scroll down here, like what are the potential benefits? Reduce cost, increase speed, greater access for those without bank accounts, heightened security. Like this sounds all great on paper, but there's a dark, dark path being taken behind these. There's a background that a lot of people just continue to overlook. And I'm worried because like a lot of you that are watching these videos, a lot of you that understand crypto, you probably understand this. You understand why CBDCs should be avoided. But think about the general public. I try to talk to people about CBDCs. They have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Like I say like a CBDC, what's that? Oh, it's a central bank digital currency. What does that mean? Like these are people that, barely know how to utilize their smartphone, let alone, know what a CBDC is. So I'm concerned because a lot of people are going to be misled and they're going to be manipulated into believing that a CBDC is actually for their benefit when in all actuality we know the darkness that lies within these CBDCs. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.